3 facts you didn't need to know. Number 3. Have you ever noticed that most zippers have the letters YKK on them? Well, YKK stands for this. It's a huge company in Japan that manufactures half of the world's zippers. Number 2. Have you ever wondered what this symbol means on beauty products? It's a little open container with a number on it, and it's supposed to indicate how many months the product will last after it's opened. Number 1. Have you ever wondered why this part of a stapler is adjustable? Well, if you flip it around, it will staple your papers in a way that makes the staple easily removable. Here are 3 facts you probably want to know. Number 3. Have you ever used a Post-it note and it ended up looking like this? Well, if you just peel it across at the top, they actually lay perfectly flat. Number 2. Did you know the dots on a dice are called pips? Apparently, pips are small but easily countable items. The symbols on playing cards and the dots on dominoes are also called pips. Number 1. You know these packets you find in everything you buy? Well, most people think they're poisonous because of the warnings, but they're actually just small, harmless chunks of silica that absorb water to keep products dry. Here are 3 facts you didn't need to know. Number 3. Have you ever wondered what the X stands for in Xbox? Well, as Microsoft's DirectX developers were working on the console, they temporarily called it the DirectX box, which was eventually shortened to Xbox. Number 2. Have you ever noticed that birds on a power line almost always face the same direction? Well, it's because a bird's body and feathers are designed to fly into the wind, and this goes for sitting too. And if you see birds on a power line facing different directions, it means there's no wind. Number 1. Have you ever wondered why this is the power symbol? Well, it's actually just a combination of these power icons. And these are a 1 and a 0, which mean on and off in the binary system. 3 interesting facts you could have lived without knowing. Number 3. You know that perfect blob of toothpaste with the little wave in it? Well, for some reason, it's called a nurdle, and it's such a valuable image to toothpaste companies that they have sued each other over nurdle usage. Number 2. You know the creepy old Six Flags guy? Well, most people thought he was actually just an old energetic man, but it was later confirmed that this guy was the man behind the glasses. Number 1. Disclaimer: do not consume or inhale gasoline. Did you know a gallon of gas contains 31,000 calories? That's the equivalent of 15 days worth of food. Do you notice something weird about this famous photo? Look at the faces of the audience members. Why do they look confused and unimpressed? And look at Ali's face. That's a face of anger, not victory. So what's actually going on here? Well, look at the punch right before this photo was taken. Did you see it? Let me slow it down. This was such a light punch that no one in the audience even saw it, which is why they were confused. Muhammad Ali knew that Liston was pretending to be knocked out, and during this photo, he was yelling, "Get up and fight me, sucker." So why was Liston pretending to be knocked out? Well, there are a lot of theories, but my personal favorite comes from his wife, who said that Liston had diarrhea that day and didn't want to make a scene. Have you ever wondered how this magic trick was done? It kind of looks like this trick, except we actually see the magician walking around beforehand. So the explanation can't be an elaborate hidden mechanism underneath his clothing, right? Wrong. This magician sticks his cane into a metal base hidden underneath the rug. The cane then connects to a rod that goes up his sleeve and is attached to a back brace. This back brace is fixed to a harness which allows the magician to use his core strength to lift his legs. Watch the trick again and see if you can notice. You've probably noticed that airplane toilets are really loud. But the reason they're loud actually makes sense. You see, airplanes need an efficient way to get rid of waste that doesn't use a lot of water. So they use a vacuum-like system that sucks up your dookie at 300 miles per hour. This high-speed process creates the loud sound, providing an effective yet noisy solution. Have you ever noticed those tiny holes on airplane windows? Well, most people don't think much of them, but the reason they exist is actually really important. You see, these punctures are called bleed holes. As the plane ascends, the air pressure outside becomes much lower than it is inside. This imbalance puts a lot of stress on the airplane windows. And without these tiny holes, well, let's just say you really don't want a window to break. Have you ever wondered why escalator steps have these grooves on them? Well, believe it or not, they have nothing to do with grip. The reason for them is actually more important than it might seem. You see, as the steps circulate, the grooves sync up with a cone plate at the top. This cone plate gets locked in by the grooves, which blocks items from getting sucked in. On August 28, 2009, Mark Saylor was going 120 miles an hour in a loaner car from a Toyota dealership. In the car with him was his wife, daughter, and brother-in-law. Now, this brother-in-law called 911 while in the car, and I have to warn you, what you're about to hear is horrific.
911 emergency, what are you reporting?
Accelerator step.
I'm sorry?
Accelerator step. We're going 120, Mission Gorge.
Mark was trying to brake, but the car wasn't slowing down.
We're in trouble. There's no brake.
Okay.
We're freeway half mile.
The freeway was ending and they were approaching an intersection with stopped vehicles.
We're approaching the intersection.
Okay.
We're approaching the intersection. Hold on.
The link for the full video is in the comments. A few days ago, I showed you how this trick was done, and I was wrong. This is how I originally explained it. Cane, base, rods, back brace, harness. All that's left for the magician to do is use his core strength to pull his legs up. Well, this magician, known as Special Head, left a comment on my TikTok. He also made a response video proving that my theory is wrong. There appears to be no base or harness. In fact, Special Head has some other videos online where he just touches someone's head and levitates. So what's going on here? What's the real explanation to this trick? The answer is that I have no idea.